Thank you for being part of today's conference call. Today's subject is the best times to make appointments. Most wedding dress stores allow walk-ins, but an appointment is always best because it holds your spot. Although wedding dress stores are open year-round, it is still a seasonal business. That just means there are peak times when they are really busy compared to other times. If you're shopping for a dress between January and April, then a reservation is essential because these are peak months. This is because there are a lot of engagements during the holidays and last-minute spring or summer brides are trying to get their dresses. If you buy your wedding dress in less than 6 months, you are considered last minute. 6 months is pushing it unless you want to buy off the rack. Brides who buy in less than 6 months may still have time to order a dress, but the chances of having to buy off the rack is higher. There is nothing wrong with buying a wedding dress off the rack. It's the same as going to a department store, trying on a dress, and buying it. People have most likely tried on the department store dress before you, so it's no big deal. The problem comes in when the bride falls in love with the dress and ordering means it won't arrive in time. Some reasons why she doesn't want the one she tried on could be that it's the wrong size. Sometimes dresses have to be pinned to fit because the bride's size isn't available in store. She may want a different color, for example, ivory or pink instead of white, or another reason. Let's talk about why it is suggested that a bride orders a dress around a year from her wedding date. At first, I didn't understand it until I saw some mishaps for last-minute brides. I really thought it was BS because I saw last-minute brides get their dresses with no issues within 6 months. It was only after seeing some things go wrong that buying a dress around a year ahead made sense. The first mishap could be financing. Some stores have several ways to pay for a wedding dress. You can pay it all at once. You can do a layaway or a special order reserve. Layaway means that you put some money down and pay the rest within a certain amount of time. That's good if you're buying the dress off the rack because the dress is already there waiting for you to finish paying. Special order reserves are similar in that you put a certain amount down and have to pay the rest within a certain amount of time. However, issues can arise because the dress is ordered after you have finished paying for the dress. For example, a bride puts down a certain amount of money in January but doesn't pay in full until March because she had 60 days to finish paying for the dress and her wedding is in May. The dress is not ordered when she puts down a payment in January. The dress is ordered when she finished paying in March. If her dress takes 8 weeks to be delivered, then she now has an issue because her dress is coming in May, and she might need time for alterations. Buying the dress a year in advance allows you to take advantage of other payment methods without having to worry about your timeline. Another issue is weight change. If you plan on going down about 2 dress sizes, then alterations can usually accommodate that in most dresses. But check first. A real bride ordered her dress but lost so much weight that she had to take it down a size. Usually in those situations, a new dress is ordered in a smaller size for free. But when that was attempted, the dress wouldn't come in time for her wedding. She had to pay for extra alterations, which were not cheap. This is where the year in advance advice would have helped. Another issue could arise with alterations. During regular times, alterations is accommodating and only charges a rush fee for last minute fittings. However, during the alterations peak season, they will turn you away because they have so many appointments that it's not possible to take any more. The alterations peak season is different from the peak season for actually buying a dress. The alterations peak season is usually around March through June, but check with your alterations person. The year in advance advice helps to make sure that your alterations appointment is already made. Another issue is if the bride falls in love with a dress and is paying in full, but the dress still won't come in time for her wedding. This happens with dresses that are special order or cut to order. That means the dress is made when an order is placed. So the dress is being made from scratch. Some special orders take about 5 to 6 months to make, so that might be an issue for last-minute brides who are buying 6 months or less. Other issues could arise, but those are the main ones. Not every last-minute bride is going to have those issues. Most don't. But you never know if you will be the bride who will have those issues at the last minute, so that's why a year in advance is recommended so you are least likely to have any of those issues and not stress out about your dress. So when brides ask when they should start looking, the best answer is at least a year in advance. And if you are a bride who wants your bridesmaid dresses to revolve around yours, then this really applies to you because ordering bridesmaid dresses may have its own issues. The recommended time for bridesmaid appointments is at least 6 months in advance of your wedding date. One reason is because of special order dresses that are made from scratch. If you pick a dress that isn't a special order, but the color you want is a special order, then that dress becomes a special order. Special order is also known as cut to order. Sometimes it gets complicated, so that's why those early bird recommendations that seem so silly at first are made and should now make more sense. If you want a personalized timeline and to know the latest you can place your bridesmaid order, then make an appointment as soon as possible to try on bridesmaid dresses. Once you narrow it down to a few choices, ask for the lead time. The stylist might tell you when the dress will arrive if ordered that day. That's standard practice because inventory changes every day. So, make sure to ask for the lead time not only for that day, but the general lead time. The general lead time is the longest time it could take for the dress to come in. Take the general lead time, add 6 weeks to it. The 6 weeks is the time needed for alterations. 6 weeks is a generous time frame that can accommodate mishaps and allow you time to make more convenient alterations appointments instead of worrying about if your appointment can fit in or paying rush fees. Add the 6 weeks to the general lead time. Whatever the total is, that's the latest you have to order by before your wedding. For example, you're getting married June 1st and the general lead time on a bridesmaid's dress is 8 weeks. Add 6 weeks to the 8-week lead time to get 14 weeks. So you have to order the bridesmaid dress at least 14 weeks before your June 1st wedding date. That means the latest you should order the dress is around February 23rd. All your bridesmaids should order at the same time to avoid issues such as dress or colors being discontinued or dress arrival dates that are after the wedding. A last minute bridesmaid who decided to order later than everyone else had to drop out of the wedding because her dress would not arrive in time for the wedding. The dress couldn't be bought off the rack or pulled from a different store because of the color. The dress itself was available in her size within the stores, but only in a different color. Since every other bridesmaid already had their dresses and all were the same color, she didn't think the bride would make an exception for her to wear the same dress as the others in a different color. If she was the maid of honor, maybe the bride would have allowed it because the maid of honor could stand out from the rest of the bridesmaids, but she probably wasn't. So, try to have your bridesmaids order at the same time or within the same week. Back to discontinued colors and dresses. That's where ordering 6 months in advance comes in handy because you don't have to worry about a dress or color being discontinued. The general 6 months in advance recommendation doesn't count in the alterations time, so you should really order 7.5 months in advance. That's 6 months plus the 6 weeks alterations time. That's also if you order exactly 6 months in advance. However, if you want everything done, bridesmaids' dresses bought, and all alterations done exactly 6 months before your wedding, then you should order the dress 4.5 months in advance. That's just the 6 months minus the 6 weeks alteration time. If you're confused, then just know that the 6 weeks alteration time was subtracted from the recommended 6 months to get the bridesmaids' dresses ordered and altered within 6 months. The 6 weeks alteration time was added to the 6 months if the bridesmaids' dresses are bought exactly 6 months in advance, because ordering the dresses within the 6 months doesn't take into consideration the possible alterations time. So then, why is the general recommendation 6 months? It's so that you have the biggest selection of bridesmaid dresses and colors to choose from, because most dresses and colors, even special orders, can be ordered within 6 months. This personalized timeline estimator works best for bridesmaids' dresses, not for bridal gowns. That covers bridesmaids' appointment times. Back to making appointments during peak and non-peak season. During the peak season, it is better to make an appointment during the weekdays because it is quieter and your stylist may only have 2 parties at a time. During the weekends are hectic. That's because most people have off on the weekends, and those who they want to help them pick out a dress are able to be there at that time too. Walk-ins have been turned away from stores because it's so busy and no dressing rooms are available. Also, prom dress shopping occurs during this time, and the kids are out of school during the weekends. Wedding dress stores also sell special occasion and prom dresses, so that's why there are so many other customers besides wedding parties on the weekends during the peak season. If you want a quieter, not exactly quiet, setting during the peak season, weekdays are the best time. If you don't mind the chaos, then go on the weekends, but be prepared for the stylist to have more than 2 parties, the store to be crowded, and even long lines at the checkout. Some brides go dress shopping 2 years in advance. This isn't recommended for several reasons. Even if a bride is just trying to get an idea, she risks finding the one. What happens next is the unnecessary headache the bride experiences about whether or not she should buy or wait. If she waits, the dress may be discontinued by the next year, and if she doesn't find another one she likes as much or better, she will be devastated. If she buys, other trends can catch her eye within those 2 years. She may find another dress she likes, her body might change, etc., etc., etc. It is better for the bride whose wedding is 2 years away to look at dresses online if she needs to get an idea during the first year than try on dresses within a year from her wedding. The first year is better used saving money or increasing her income to save more money so she can practically buy whatever dress she wants. She can call the stores she's interested in and ask what the most expensive wedding dresses cost and if they have a limit to how expensive wedding dresses can be in their store. She should also ask about the cost of veils, alterations, and undergarments so that she is prepared for the year that she actually starts looking. Back to off-peak, peak appointments. During the off-peak season, walk-ins are okay. The store is busier on the weekends, but it's not as hectic as during the peak season. The weekdays are still more quiet. So the recommendation to order a year in advance for brides and 6 months in advance for bridesmaids still applies during the off-peak season. Hope that helps with deciding when to make your bridal or bridesmaids appointments.